From the low release, that is Testament with Hail Mary, and you can catch a interview with the Classic Metal Show on uncontrollednoise.com on Monday afternoon with the one and only Chuck Billy.
That's right.
So good stuff there. Love Testament.
Yes, sir.
I know you're a big Metallica fan, and I've said this before. I'll take Testament over Metallica any day.
That's such a tough one.
Any day.
I don't know about any day. Those first 4 records. Oof. Those first 4 records are monsters.
Ancient history, my friend. Ancient history.
I mean, Testament now. I would definitely take Testament today.
Sure.
But in 1989? Ooh, I don't think so.
Well, we're 30 years past, my friend. 30 years.
I know. But I mean, I still listen to those first 4 Metallica records a lot more than I do Testament.
Sure.
And I love them. Don't get me wrong. Testament, dude, all that. You know that, man. Me and the San Francisco Sound. That's my shit.
Right.
You know, even the more modern stuff, the Machine Head and whatnot. I love it. Anything from that area, I generally love.
Right.
But those first 4 Metallica records, though, dude. I was watching Binge and Purge today. It was on YouTube. I watched the Seattle show from '89.
Okay.
God damn it, they were on fire.
Yeah. Well, again, almost 30 years gone, my friend.
Oh, I know. Believe me, I know. And then after that, I watched a show that I was at in Reno from '92.
Mm-hmm.
I actually saw myself on it.
Did you?
Yeah, because there was a snake pit show, and I was like on the barrier in the snake pit that was like cut out in the middle of the stage, and I was in the snake pit, and they just showed this 2 set. It wasn't showing me; it was showing some other guy that was freaking the fuck out.
Sure.
Standing next to the guy, I was like, "Hey, there I am! Look at that! pretty fun."
Yeah, excellent. Well, speaking of the hour of death,
yes.
Hail Mary, full of grace in the hour of death. Periodically, the fans like to chime in and send some stories over and whatnot.
Okay.
So John Phillips, who's a big CMS fan,
yeah,
he sent over a story today to me via the Twitter.
Okay.
He said, "Here's something of an update." Mm-hmm. Well, you and I speak about where we are socially in our country, in our thought process, in our activities. Mm-hmm, and sure. one of the things as a grown adult now, somebody who's in my 50s, mm-hmm. who lived during the 80s, I was in my 20s back in the 80s.
All right.
And of course, the 80s had a lot of great things and a lot of devastating things. And one of the devastating things that came out of the 80s was
poison.
That too was the uptick or the understanding of the AIDS epidemic.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And we've covered a few stories here on the show where, for some reason, even after all that we know, everything that we've been taught, all the information out there possible, AIDS is on the uptick again.
Well, only in certain communities, as you've pointed out.
Well, true, absolutely. But the thing is even in certain communities, it's still preventable.
Well, yeah. Well, those condoms are expensive.
Right. And that's a good point, because I do have something that will be relatable to what I'm going to talk about here.
Okay.
Well, anyway, according to the CDC, mm-hmm. gay men make up 2% of the population. Okay. But 67% of all HIV, new HIV cases.
Oh, Tim. Jeez.
2% of the population causes 67% of all new HIV.
Now, is this consensual or is this rape or what?
Well, let's find out.
Right.
Although homosexuals or men who have sex with men mm-hmm. make up about 2% of the U.S. population, they account for 67% of all new HIV diagnoses.
Wow.
According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Mm-hmm. Obviously, it's not being prevented or controlled.
At least in that community. Jesus.
In any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, no kidding. Wow.
Which just goes back to our thought that I guess if you're a gay man, you'll just fuck anything in the ass. It doesn't matter.
Pretty much.
You know, I don't give a shit. I'm just going to get my nut.
Yeah. Whether it's a guy's asshole or a hole in a ham, it's all good, right?
Right. In addition, there are about 1.2 million people in the United States with HIV, the virus that causes AIDS, and an estimated 647,700, that is 54% of those people, are homosexuals.
Wow.
The 67% of all new HIV cases is for the 2013, and 54 living with HIV is for 2011.
Oh, so it's probably even more now.
That's what I'm saying. It's on the rise.
Okay.
The latest year, according to the CDC, for this particular data. Among some of the other facts about HIV/AIDS reported by the CDC are about 50,000 people become newly infected each year in the United States.
Wow.
50,000. So a stadium worth.
Wow.
More than
basically that what'll be in the Super Bowl tomorrow, all could have AIDS in this country.
True, absolutely, in a year.
Wow.
Yep.
That's something.
Hail and kill, caller, you're on the air.
I was a safe bag. Hail and kill.
Tim, he just can't. He's lonely this week.
He is.
Team is lonely.
Tim, go give your wife some AIDS.
Yeah, he was a safe bag.
Jeez.
More than 14,000 people with AIDS in the United States die each year.
Okay.
More than 650,000 people with AIDS in the United States have died since the epidemic started in the early 80s.
How many?
650,000.
So it's not a big deal. It's not even a million.
Yeah, over 30 years, yeah.
It's not that bad. That's not so bad.
Right. Men who have had sex with men remain the group most heavily affected by HIV in the United States. So like I said, any asshole's a good asshole. Just give it to me.
That's horrible.
It is horrible.
You're a mean man.
No, I'm not. I'm just truthful.
I guess.
I mean, you don't just contract AIDS.
No, you get it. Well, you could. No. There's no way you could by being responsible.
Correct.
Is there? There's really not.
No.
Is there?
If you're being responsible, the risk is cut down considerably.
Maybe there's like 0.1% that happen to have a cut or something.
Yes.
On their their pubic bone that got a little bit of fucking AIDS juice when they're getting some man ass.
Well, that's not how AIDS is contracted when men are having sex.
Well, if their asshole's bleeding from being fucked,
that's it. Yes. So
the blood leaks into that cut on their pubic bone.
So you're basically talking about a reverse transmission of AIDS.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're not talking about the guy blowing a load. You're talking about getting it back.
Yeah.
Well, some backwash, if you will.
Yeah, because it has to be transmitted through fluid. Well, I guess the guy getting pumped in the ass could get it.
Yeah,
certainly.
What I'm saying is the guy pumping the other guy is pumping him full of AIDS-infested cum.
Yeah, but I'm saying it's more likely that the guy that's being fucked in the ass would bleed.
Yes, correct. And he's the one, and it would get into his bloodstream.
Or the blood, he would already have the AIDS, and the blood would get into.
Yeah, so basically, you're talking about a reverse transmission, is what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a two-way street, pal.
I guess, but it's more likely the other way.
Yeah,
I would think.
I'd say a little more. 60-40.
White male on male continue to represent the largest number of new HIV infections among male to male. That is 11,200, followed closely by black male on male, 10,600, and Hispanic at 6,700.
So white dudes are the primary concern for the HIV.
Well, but the thing is that blacks only make up 12% of the population.
Mm-hmm.
They're almost equal with the whites as far as transmissions are concerned.
Still, I don't know. So which one would you rather be raped by, a white guy or a black guy? Which one would you feel more safe taking a raping from?
I think I would die first. But my point is that white males make up a much higher population percentage.
Sure.
But they're almost equal with the blacks.
Right. And you said who's third, Mexicans or Asians?
It's Hispanics.
Hispanics.
Yes.
Okay. Who would you rather be raped by? White guy, black guy, or Hispanic guy?
Well, if you're going to get raped by some guy,
yeah.
Well, since the Hispanics got the lowest percentage.
Not the lowest percentage, but they're right up there with the black guys for the largest cocks. So you might want to get raped by the white guy because even though there's more chance of AIDS, it might hurt less.
I guess.
No?
I don't know.
It's interesting. It's an interesting topic.
See, okay, you can think
Just
about
call now 800.
You can think about that all you want on your own. The number of new infections among the youngest male to male, that is 13 to 24,
yeah,
increased 22%. From 7,200 infections in 2008 to 8,800 in 2010. So it's getting even worse.
Right.
So
how much of this do you think has to go with the fact that it's not so hard to get sex anymore? Like these kids, you see all the time about these kids with the fucking rainbow parties and shit like that. And, it's just commonplace for like teenage girls to just be sucking 10 dicks at a party and shit now.
Yeah, but the thing is, it doesn't seem as if the girls are factoring in on this AIDS risk.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's also less offensive for a guy to be sucking another guy's dick now than it was when we were
true kids. because our twisted society is trying to brainwash everybody into believing that's perfectly fine.
Mm-hmm. Now, are all of these men that have the AIDS, are they identifying as men?
It doesn't really get into that.
I want to know. I want to be sure I understand the statistics here.
Sure.
This whole fucking world is fucked.
It is. There was a 12% increase in HIV incidences among male to male overall from 26,700 in 2008 to 29,800 in 2010.
Wow.
Oh, here you go. Here's what you want.
All right.
Transgender individuals.
Yes.
Are also heavily affected by HIV.
Not shocking.
A 2008 review of HIV studies among transgender women.
Does that mean that that's a guy?
It's a man pretending to be a woman.
Okay.
Found that on an average, 28% tested positive for HIV.
Jesus,
so
really?
A third.
So we've got Bruce Jenner, Mark Free. Do we know of a third famous one? Is there a third famous one?
The guy from Life of Agony.
Oh, yeah. Mina, or what's his name? Keith Caputo.
Right.
So we've got Keith Caputo. We've got
Marcy Free.
Mark Free, and we've got Bruce Jenner.
So one of them out of the three will have HIV.
One of them has AIDS.
Exactly.
Okay. Ow.
As for reducing the risk of being infected with HIV, the CDC states sexual risk behaviors account for most HIV infections in gay and bisexual men. Most gay and bisexual men acquire HIV through anal sex, which is the riskiest type of sex for getting or transmitting HIV.
Mm-hmm.
For sexually active gay and bisexual men, the most effective ways to prevent transmitting or becoming infected with HIV are to be antiretroviral medications to either treat or prevent infection and to correctly use a condom.
What?
Every time you have anal or vaginal sex.
Yeah. Okay. Or just don't stick your dick in an asshole.
Right.
Maybe that'll help.
Sure. Hail and kill caller, you're on the air.
Okay, so what you're saying...
All right, Tim, are you just going to stay on the line instead of calling every 3 minutes? All right, what are we saying, Tim? Make your point.
Okay, well, according to Chris, if white guys have smaller dicks than black guys, that means he could have sex with me and the real Jeff Payton and wouldn't hurt. Really kill.
All right, Tim.
All right, Tim, enough.
You're banned from calling.
Right. All right. So Tim's lonely this week.
I guess so.
He needs some male bonding time.
Yeah.
So there you go. There's an update on the old AIDS epidemic.
All right. Well, I don't think either of us have anything to worry about.
Yeah, I'm not too concerned about getting the HIV, the HIV, as you'd like to put it.
No HIV here.
No, but still.
Nope.
What is with you guys and wanting to fuck another dude in the ass?
Yeah. Well, they identify sexually as women.
Okay.
With penises that need to be thrust into an asshole.
Right. Jeez. I don't get it, dude.
It was so much better when we could just shame people.
Right.
Wasn't it? You just say, you're a fag.
Right.
You're beating. Isn't that how it used to go?
Yeah.
And no, before anybody takes that literally, I'm not advocating beating.
Right.
Because somebody will fucking say, see, these guys are fucking blah, blah.
Yeah. Nope, that's not it at all.
Well, we're just disgusted by it.
Yeah.
That's really what it is.
Well, the thing is, and I'm only disgusted by it by the lack of responsibility. Mm-hmm. If you're two dudes and you want to do that shit and you're doing it on your own or whatever the fuck, I don't really give two shits. I don't really even need to know about it.
Right.
But if you're becoming a health hazard to everybody around you, then I've got a problem with it.
Sure. There's nothing. I mean, there's really who you fuck is your own business.
That's
really
how I look at it.
But don't be spreading the germ. That's really what it comes down to.
Yeah, well, not only that, but it becomes a drain on the economic system because chances are these guys are not in a position to where they can pay for their health care once they get sick.
Clearly, you're behind the times, Neely.
Okay.
Our great president.
Sure.
Made it so.
Yes.
Everybody has their own health care now.
Yeah, right.
Everybody can afford to have AIDS.
Right.
Everybody. That's what the great Obama gave us.
Sure.
I declined your statement there that it's a drain. It's actually good because that's what the coverage was given to us for.
Yeah, well, where's the money for that coverage coming from?
Irrelevant.
Okay.
You're not feeling the burn.
I guess not.
Not feeling the burn, dude, because it doesn't matter if it gets paid for or not, as long as it's there and it's free.
Right.
Come on, dude.
Okay, I guess I'm not understanding how it all works. I'm going to have to go back to my physics, or not physics, but...
political science.
Yeah, political science and understand this.
I thought you were more knowledgeable in today's politics.
I know. I'm going to have to re-educate, go back to school.
Yeah, you're going to have to feel the burn. That's what Norse told you.
Yeah, of course. Sure.